To all the developers out there, have you ever wanted to work on a side project with others but didn't know how to get started, who to team up with, where to even find people? Have you been procrastinating on that great idea at the back of your mind because you were always busy with other things? Well, look no further, because we present to you DevUp. DevUp is a platform designed to help developers like you find teammates for projects. Whether you're an expert or a novice, with or without a project idea, DevUp will help connect you with developers of similar interests and skills. All you need is the will to work on an awesome project with others and learn along the way. Unlike other platforms, DevUp was created by developers for developers, focused with a clear purpose of connecting them with each other to build awesome projects. Interested? Well, let's get into a demo of the website. Welcome to DevUp. Upon landing on the website at dev-up.tech, we will be directed to the Explore page, where we can view projects that other people have posted and are currently working on. We can browse without an account, but let's create one to get the full experience of DevUp. So I'll press login, and then create an account, and then we'll fill in my details so that I can create an account. So Angela, let's say angela.com, enter my credentials, or create one. Let's say I know Python, so I will enter that. And interests, let's say I like web development, so I will enter that. And then register, and then we will create an account. And then we can log in with those details, so I will do that. And in the case that we forgot our password, we can click this, enter a username, and then it will send us a link with a token to reset our password. And we won't do that right now because I know my own details, so let's go back. And then we can log in. And then upon logging in, we will be directed to the profile page. So here's my information, and with the languages and interests that I inputted. Let's say I wanted to add one after, because I learned something new. So I will add that to my profile, and then it will be added. And right now we don't have any projects, so nothing displays here. So let's add a project as well. Alright, so to add a project, we will go to the projects page and press the plus button right here. Everything else is empty because we don't have any of our own projects on the website right now. So let's add one. We will call it CV Dino Game. Enter a description, paste the URL to the repo, for example, and then enter some languages. We'll put Python and Java, and then put computer vision in here, and then press save. And now we have created a project, and it will show up on our own profile, or under our own projects, as well as under our own profile. So we added some tags so that they can be shown to others, and if they are filtering through them, they will be able to see that. And that will be on the Explore and Category pages.
Taking you through our last two little tabs, so it will be categories and explore. So let's look at categories first. So categories is essentially a way to filter by your personal interest. So for example, if a user was really interested in machine learning or web development, they could just search it up. So we can search up web development, and then you can go into web development, and then it will pull up the project card with some details on it. You can go into the GitHub, and we do have a contact functionality, which I will show you a little bit later in the explore page, but it is essentially the same thing. And then we close out of this. So this is a great way to filter by your own personal interest. We have a lot of different categories you can tag your projects based off of, and then we can find it here. So then we have the explore page, which is essentially just every single project that's not yours. We especially filtered it, so none of your projects will show up on here. So this is just recommended for you. And then you can also sort by categories. So if we have machine learning, yeah, so there's a lot of projects here as well. And just a note, I am logged in as Bob, or Bob1, and these are some of my projects which are in the database but aren't included in the explore page. And then we have a lot of the other projects going on here, and oh, we see DevUp here. So if we were really interested in this project, you look in the GitHub, oh, it's really cool, then you can actually set up you can actually send an email to the product owner to sort of learn more about it or see how you can join the team. So for example, if I want to say, hi, I'm Bob, and I'm interested. This is actually connected to my own email, so we can send this message. There's message sent, and then if we look in here, we got a message just 11:31 from Bob, which is the user I'm logged in on, and then it basically just has the subject you set, the text you set, and also on the bottom it gives you the contact information, so the product owner can actually go through, and if they're interested in any of the message they get, they can contact them back. And then, yeah, we were able to use Flask Mail for that, and then a little bit on the backend as well. So our backend is in Flask as well, in Python, and it's connected to a Postgres database, and we have a lot of endpoints there I can actually show you. So right now I have it up locally. So for example, we have the API/get project endpoint, and then that will actually just show you all of your all the projects that we have in here. And then if we wanted to get by, for example, user, we can get all the information about certain user. Okay, So this is my own username. So it also has a lot of information like what topics, what languages, and then their GitHub, their email, all the stuff that we were able to set up during registration is in here. So this is really how we're able to pull up everything very dynamically, and it's what we use to make changes in the project and then have that load and be very dynamic when we go to explore, and all those changes are being reflected. So yeah, that's a little bit about our last two tabs, categories, explore, and a little bit of our connection to the backend.
Hi, my name is Lalo Venegas, and I'm going to talk about the production engineering skills that we apply in this project. So first of all, if we check the GitHub and go to the architecture part, here we can see all the architecture that our project has. As you can see, every service on our app is in its own container, and it's also independent from one another. First of all, we have the engine servbot. This one takes care of the SSL certificates and also does a reverse proxy with the client part and also the monitoring. The client part is running on React, and we are using Nginx in order to get the build file running in there. And also we have the API part. In this case, we're running it in Flask, and we are using Unicorn to run it. And the Flask app, it also connects to a database that has a volume in order to get data persistent. The images from the client part and the API are get from GitHub package registry, where we just pull the images and run them. Then finally, we have the monitoring part. For this project, we set CAdvisor, Grafana, Prometheus, and Node Explorer in order to get the stats from the instance. So this is the overall architecture from our app. Then we can go check out the CI/CD part. So we're running our CI/CD on various stages. For example, first of all, when you're working on something in the client part or the API, and then you push to a branch and then create a pull request. When a pull request is created, some linters are run and also some tests. For linters, we use Flake8 and Black for the back part and Slit for the client part. And for tests, we use Postman and Newman for the backend and Jest for the frontend. Then, when everything's green and you're happy with your changes, you can do a merge. And when a merge is done, this is where the CD part enters. So first of all, it logins to the GitHub package registry and builds the Docker API and client images from the GitHub actions. When the images are built, then it pushes them into the Docker package registry, and then it passes to the next stage where it leads the deployment. GitHub actions SSH into the AWS instance, and then it pulls the images from the Docker package registry. When the images are pulled, then it runs Docker Compose down and Docker Compose up with the new images, and that should have the server deployed in a matter of seconds instead of minutes if we have built the images in this part. And then, when everything is deployed, we get a Discord status notification that informs us if the deployment was successful or not. So this is the CI/CD of our project. Lastly, we have the monitoring part. For that, we set up CAdvisor that can help us monitor the status of our containers, how are they working, how is their RAM or CPU usage, and we can see them for container basis, like this. We also set up Prometheus and Grafana. So now if we log into Grafana, with Grafana, we can monitor every log from Prometheus or CAdvisor. We have two dashboards here. We have a Docker and OS metrics dashboard and also an Node Exporter dashboard. The Node Exporter will give us information about the instance itself. So for example, if we go in, we can see metrics about the CPU usage, the memory, networks, and also the disk page. And we can see each one of them with more detail if we check its category. So for example, we can see how it's behaving through time and a lot of stuff. Then if we also go to the next dashboard, the Docker one, we can see all of that data but divided by containers. So we can see how are they behaving. For example, here we can see that Prometheus got really high in this part. And we can go to the past as long as we want if we don't exceed the 15 days limit. So this is all that we can do with Grafana. It has a really nice user interface, and we can get a lot of insights if we know how to use it correctly. So those are our monitoring tools.
The biggest challenges for me was to connect the front end and the back end as well as implement testing, because I've never done those before. I asked my teammates for help every night when we met up, and we debugged a lot of the problems together, which helped me better understand how to do it and how to solve the problem. I also researched a lot into testing using the React testing library and just experimented a lot in general using different branches so that the main branch is still in good state.
So some of the problems we had run into with just these two categories was a main part was like the contact part, just trying to set that up. We had to go through kind of a lot of hurdles, especially because we're using Flask Mail and just setting it up with the Gmail system. There were some security issues we ran into, so we had to make some configuration changes on the email side and on our code side just to make sure that emails could actually get sent through.
So what's next for DevUp? Well, in the future, we plan on adding the ability for users to click on someone else's profile so that they can get a better idea of what their skills and interests are and some of the other projects that they have been working on. It would look something like this before someone else's profile. Also, we have already deployed our project and we plan on sharing it online so that developers can actually use our website to connect with other people and work on awesome projects together. With an easy-to-use interface and designed specifically for developers, DevUp will surely help developers team up, and we hope to see you on the site as well. Thank you.